Morning.
Listen up.
You just wake up.
Wake up, wake up. The Big Show
Oh, wow, that's big.
with Glenn, Angel and Tim
I know which one I'd rather wake up looking at.
on Kiss 92.
Good morning, Singapore, and good morning, world, from wherever you're catching us right now. We are live on Facebook as well as on YouTube, and I can't believe we have the man in the studio. He is the co-CEO of Tao Group Hospitality, Mr. Noah Tepperberg. Welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Good morning, Noah. Thanks
from
for
Singapore.
waking up early to be in the studio with us. Okay, let's do this very quickly. The Tao Group. I mean, it may not be a very familiar name here in Singapore, but obviously, it is huge in the US and here in Singapore as well. You guys have a lot of presence. You've got Marquee, you've got Avenue, you've got Coma, and you got the newly refurbished LAVO. But what we'd really like to know is how you and Jason started this whole journey of this nightlife career.
Let's go.
Oh, wow. So Jason Strauss and I have been doing nightlife, restaurants, hospitality for 32 years. At 50, that means I started at 18. Do the math quickly. Grew up in New York City, started running nightclubs as a sort of college side job during university. Quickly realized it could be a great career. Graduated from university, decided to start our first business in an office that was about 100 square feet in the Chelsea area of New York. Ran nightclubs in our early 20s, opened our first nightclub at age 24 in New York. And from there, we decided, this was what we wanted to do. We started in New York in 2005, 20 years ago this month. We expanded to Las Vegas. From there, we started to, look and grow. And over the last 20 years, we've built a company under the Tao Group Hospitality banner that now includes over 60 properties. We're in, obviously, Singapore, where we have 4. We previously had a large venue in Sydney. We have venues all throughout the United States, New York and Las Vegas being our hubs, but also in Miami, Chicago, Los Angeles, venues in Mexico, all over the world at this point. So over the years, we expanded to grow to include different concepts. Marquee was the first very famous nightclub that we opened, and the first that we were able to scale and bring on the road. So after New York, we opened in Las Vegas. After Las Vegas, we opened in Sydney. And Singapore was the 4th and not final, but 4th outpost that has been now open for nearly 6.5 years. LAVO was a brand we started in Las Vegas in 2009 and quickly became very popular, opened in New York, and then decided to bring that to Singapore as well. Since opening here in Singapore in 2018, we've grown LAVO to other markets, including London, Mexico City, and also Los Angeles. So there are 6 of them at the moment. Our other big brands that some people may have heard of are Tao, obviously, which is a great restaurant and nightclub with locations in Chicago and LA and New York, but nothing out of the US yet. And then we have some other very cool and sexy brands. Avenue was one of our trendiest nightlife spots in New York for about 15 years. We expanded that to Los Angeles and here to Singapore, of course. Most recently, we opened a new venue in New York City called the Crane Club. It's the hot place right now.
Yeah.
Has a members club, a beautiful restaurant. That's the project that I've been spending the most of my time on lately.
Wow.
Okay.
And last that I feel like I need to mention are Omnia, which is a ginormous nightclub that we have in Las Vegas. Hopefully looking to grow that brand around the world next, as well as Beauty in Essex. It's another very cool restaurant that we've grown to multiple cities and has a fantastic chef and menu, and something I think would do very well in Singapore, actually.
Amazing. You're giving me goosebumps,
Yeah.
Noah. It's like from the time you said you started out, at the age of 18,
yeah.
and everything that you guys have achieved, Jason and yourself, absolutely amazing. Let's continue to talk to Noah on The Big Show TV. Meantime, here's Ive with Rebel Heart on Kiss 92.
All right. Now, no, you were just talking
You
about...
asked, I gave,
Yes,
No,
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 please,
absolutely.
please.
know what
Right.
we've been up
Brilliant.
to.
Please.
It's been a very boring 30 years.
But yeah, congratulations on LAVO Singapore reopening. And it was wonderful hearing you taking us on that history lesson. You know how you started LAVO in Las Vegas, then in New York. You're expanding the brand to London. We want to know, the LAVO here in Singapore, how is it unique? What sets it apart from all the other different LAVOs around the world?
Well, first of all, when describing venues, it's like talking about children.
Exactly.
Right? You love them all equally. However, I will say that LAVO Singapore is, my opinion, the best of the whole group.
It's your favorite child?
It's my favorite child. It is, first of all, it was the first restaurant that we opened outside of America. So it was really a great lesson and a great experience for us to figure out how to scale a place that had been successful sort of in our hometowns into a new country. Second of all, it's just in the best resort in the world, being not only in Marina Bay Sands, but on the iconic Sky Park, just makes it, such a iconic place. And, it's a project that took us many years to develop and was well worth the time. Many 19-hour flights to Singapore.
Yeah.
Many sleepless nights as well, I'm sure.
Yeah. And the whole when you think about restaurants, you think about atmosphere, you think about decor, you think about food. The view that we have is like the most priceless view in the world. Having just a 360 view of the Singapore skyline just makes it so unique. And then being able to deliver the LAVO culinary program that has just been completely revamped. I think just overlays really well in the iconic location. So we love it. Really do. It's a special place.
So if there's one LAVO you have to go to in the world, not to say that you can't go to the rest of them, but start at Singapore.
Singapore is number one. I
There
would
you
say
go.
Las Vegas, because it's the original, is the second greatest. But Singapore by far is the top LAVO and worth every bit of effort it might take to get there. Pretty hard to get in right now.
You were speaking about culinary, having revamped the menu for the recently revamped LAVO. So what is a signature dish or a cocktail that you think people should be looking out for on that menu, or something special, maybe a favorite of yours?
So the revamped menu at LAVO it's more of a coastal Italian. So all of the grilled fishes, the bronzino, I would say, is a real highlight. There are some of our classic Italian sort of signature dishes on the menu still, like the famous 1 pound meatball. The eggplant parmigiano is a new addition to the menu, my personal favorite. And I love the fresh pastas. The seafood pasta is fantastic. I like the sort of old, classic red sauce dishes too, the penne alla vodka, and obviously the pizzas. The Caesar salad is fantastic. But really all of the new dishes are amazing, and I love that we've lightened up the menu. There's a lot more, olive oil based dishes, a little bit less red sauce, and obviously the bread, right? The free bread, the focaccia that comes with the meal is just
free bread.
amazing. And then I would be remiss not to talk about our dessert program. The desserts at LAVO are unbelievable. It is that type of place. You have to save room for dessert. The 20-layer cake, forget about it. It is the best dessert in the world, especially if you like peanut butter. I love peanut butter. 10 layers of peanut butter mascarpone, 10 layers of moist, chewy chocolate cake. It is amazing.
It is to be shared, okay?
Of
I
course.
thought it's
I mean, of
just
course.
one slide all by yourself.
It's like it's usually like this, right? Somebody's birthday, you go down there, you get a 20-layered cake with a candle, and then the birthday boy tries to finish the whole thing. I'm like, come on. You gotta
Okay.
share it with like 5 of us right now,
So we'll see it in just a little bit, right? And I'm wondering, is there a special technique to eating this cake? Do you cut across all the layers,
Well-
or are there some sneaky people who will eat it layer by
It's
layer?
actually a pretty tough thing. If you try and cut it, it usually falls over.
Right.
So there is a special way to eat it without it towering over. And you have to kind of like shave it slowly.
It's like I would like just plop it on its side.
No,
and just
yeah,
like
exactly.
cut it,
Well, that's
you know?
the easy
Lay
way.
it down.
This is like
Lay
an
it down.
atas kue lapis, bro.
I've never seen anything like this.
Oh.
Well,
20
then Noah
layers.
should try the kue lapis.
Yeah.
100%
We'll make arrangements
Kim,
for you to try a kue lapis, which is also a layered cake, but it's not a 20-layer cake.
It's like
But
it's
it's
like
still a layered
that
cake.
layer.
Yeah, very thin.
So Noah, you know, you've been in the nightlife industry and hospitality for years. You've seen different trends. You've seen social media come and stay. You know, you've seen fashion come and go and come back again. What do you think guests are looking for today? I mean, in an age where we're not looking at the view, where we'd rather take photos of the view and our food, what do you think people are looking for in terms of experience?
I think people, first of all, are looking to find places where they can gather in groups. You know, I definitely think that, you know, for the short amount of time that, you know, during the pandemic when people were sort of not allowed to be in groups, it made people miss that primal sort of necessity of just being together. So, you know, that is, I still think, the driving force of why people want to go out and why they want to go to places like LAVO. It's also not the type of experience that you can get online. You can see pictures of what it's like maybe to be at a LAVO party brunch online. You can read about it, but you just can't get the same feeling if you're not actually there. As I frequently say when I talk about these things, it's not something you can buy on Amazon. You know, it's a real live experience. And I think the other part is just people want to go to, they want to spend their time in doing things that they can share on social media.
Right. Okay, hold on, Noah.
Second.
We'll go on. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Traffic.
Kiss 92 traffic.
If you are on the PIE, couple of trouble spots heading towards Tuas. The first is at the Thompson Road exit and the next is at the TPE exit. Both have broken down vehicles that have been reported. Also on the Bartley Viaduct towards Portsdown Road and Still Road South. Before Bartley Road, avoid lane 2. Another vehicle has broken down there. And unless you've been sleeping under a rock for the past year, remember that the Formula One Singapore Airlines Singapore Grand Prix is happening this weekend. So lots of road closures in and around the Marina Bay Street Circuit. If you want to find out more, it's lta.gov.sg.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for this morning is co-CEO of Tao Group Hospitality, Mr. Noah Tepperberg. And we were just talking about how the club scene has changed over the years. I mean, we all partied in the 90s, early 2000s, and now I still party at Marquee. I was there like 3 weeks ago till 5 a.m. in the morning. It took me the whole weekend to recover. That's the kind of place, you know, Marquee is. We start late and we finish in the early hours of the morning. How is the club scene different these days, Noah?
I mean, I think the club scene has changed for people who have grown older. If you're 20 years old, the club scene has not changed.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's just as new and fresh as it's always been. So I think when you hear people talking about how the scene has changed, really, right? It's changed because those people are probably older.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for the people who really we design and build these amazing nightlife venues for are the young people who are, you know, as I said, 20 years old, 22 years old, 20, and for them it's brand new and it hasn't changed. And this is what they've waited their whole life to be old enough to go see. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really buy into the idea that the scene has changed. I buy into the idea that people get older and start to, you know, want to find new ways of going out at night. But our job, you know, as the creators of these types of venues, Marquee as an example,
Yeah.
are to build a place that will be timelessly fun for people who are going out for their first time as adults to go to. And that's why a place like Marquee has been packed every night
Yep.
since it opened.
Oh, it's crazy.
You know, and why, you know, the guests that continue to go just love it. You know, while people talk about nightlife is down, Marquee is actually seeing growth year over year.
Absolutely.
And we're looking at having maybe a record-setting weekend.
Nice.
Fantastic.
And I love
It's another
how
world in there.
It is. I mean, like I go to Coma quite a lot, and that is my party zone for now, because it's like you said, let's not talk about how club life used to be because that just shows our age, right? But Coma is great because you've got a DJ on the weekends, it's got a great vibe. Then when you come out and you see all the barriers going up for Marquee, and you're like, oh my gosh, where are all these people going? They're starting at midnight. And then you remember, no, wait, I used to start going out at midnight as well, back in the day. But I love that the Tao Group really has different sort of experiences for a different time of your life. Like Marquee would be for the ones that are just starting to go out and maybe a little bit after. Avenue's a slightly older crowd. And then you have Coma that turns into a club-ish, vibe. And then also you have LAVO, which offers those views. You get the tourists, you get people who want to dine out in groups and stuff like that. So is there anything more that you may be planning for Singapore that we haven't already heard of, or a new brand that you want to bring here?
We're looking for a scoop, Noah.
I wish I had a scoop to give you right now. I don't. Not in regards to Singapore.
Okay.
When we set out to create this new sort of nightlife and dining portfolio of venues with Marina Bay Sands, talking over 10 years ago, the conversation started. The idea was to build a little bit of an ecosystem inside the resort. So we had different products for different people looking for different things, and we're able to really offer something for everyone, but also give our guests a chance to come to MBS and not have to leave. And that's why we concepted 4 different venues, but they all have a different personality, and they all cater to different people at different times of the day, at different parts of the week, different nights of the weekend. And I think we've created a really, special, one-of-a-kind ecosystem of hospitality offerings that really doesn't exist anywhere in the world. And that was, our goal with MBS, was to really develop something that only could exist here in Singapore and only in that property. And that's what we did. As you said, there really are, there's a different offering for every type of person. Yeah, the crowd at Marquee tend to be younger on the weekends, but there are some weekends when you go in and you see people in their 50s and 60s having the time of their life.
Yeah.
And, the same thing would say for LAVO or Coma. You get people of all ages, and I don't think there's a one-size-fits-all formula when you look at these places. They do have their sort of target demographics, but it really changes based on time of the year, what's going on in town. I mean, obviously this weekend being F1, you have a lot of race people. Having the whole crypto conference in town the last few nights, you've had a whole different audience. But I'm sure if I came back in December when there was, a different type of event going on in town, the crowd would be a bit different then. So we change to what's happening inside the market always.
Fantastic. I love that. Much like how Marvel has its own MCU, the Tao Group has its own ecosystem.
Okay, let's continue to talk to Noah on The Big Show TV. It's 9:23, I beg your pardon.
Kiss 92 Time Check.
So what would be your perfect night out? I mean, are you more dinner, cocktails, or late night boom boom pow kind of guy?
I think having just turned 50, I will start with my age. I'm a professional, right? So a regular night for me is start at, let's say, Coma or LAVO, have a drink, eat a light but fulfilling meal, and then depending on the night, if it's a weekend, I like to go to the club, and I like to stay, till 2 or 3 o'clock. 5 o'clock doesn't really happen much these days, but usually dinner and a lounge, or dinner and a night and a club. A lot of it depends on the DJs that are playing, the group of people that I'm with, but I'm a social person. I love, that's why I'm in this business first and foremost. I love people. I love connecting people. I love, hosting people. I love showing people what I spent my life creating. So when I'm inside my venues, I almost only go to my venues. I'm at my best, and I believe it or not, still to this day, spend 4 to 5 nights a week in
Wow.
a Tao Group venue,
Yeah.
unless I'm in a city where we just don't have one. But that doesn't happen often either.
I would like to ask you about your creative process. I mean, when you get inspired for all these different clubs and restaurants, what goes through your mind? I mean, you're walking day by day and you look at something and like, that would make a really good club concept. Like, how do you come up with these concepts?
Is it a gut feel?
Yeah.
I work with a team. I have a fantastic group on the design and creative side who are all doing this for a long time, and nothing is just me, But yeah, I mean, everywhere I go, I like to travel more than anything to get inspiration, to seeing what venues are doing, and there isn't like a formula. Like I'll be somewhere and I just see a piece of furniture or a wallpaper or a light fixture, and from that one idea I can create, a concept may come to mind. Sometimes we don't have the concept in mind. We are working backwards. We design our places from the inside out. That's my strategy. We like to lay a venue out. We start with the kitchen, we start with the back of house, we start with the bathrooms, and we work our way through where the front door is going to be. And that way, we always make sure that we have enough support from a back of house perspective to support whatever the concept is. What we never do is design a place, figure out what it's going to look like, and then say, okay, how much space do we have left for the kitchen?
Yeah.
It just, that's how you get into trouble. So we like to say we design inside out. We like design we call the back of house the heart of house. So we design from the heart out. We're also a big fan of saying the experience starts at the rope. We're very, very, very always focused on making sure that from the second you walk into a place that you feel that you're in a great place, and somewhere in a place that people care about, that has something special going on. And then the last piece I would say when it comes to creating these contents is the wow moment. The wow moment is what I say is that moment throughout the guest journey from when they walk in, where they finally walk to a part of the venue, look and say, wow. Every one of our venues, we've created that.
Yep.
In Coma, you walk down the arch entry, you walk into the bar, you're like, oh my God,
Wow.
look at this
The bell.
20-foot
bell,
bell.
the
But then you
bridge.
turn the corner and you see the restaurant and you say, wow.
It's like
Right?
so
The
hard to pick a table,
And I think at LAVO, you walk in, you make your way through the beautiful lounge area. The second you get eyes on the terrace and you get eyes on the skyline view, everybody says, wow. And once you make your way through the private dining room to our new seating area that we just created with the renovation, that's got outdoor tables with the best view of the city, people say wow again.
So multiple wow moments.
Oh, LAVO has many wows. Actually, Coma and Marquee do too. And Avenue is an interesting venue because the wow doesn't come, that soon. You enter, you're kind of like, where am I? This feels like I'm maybe in the wrong place. And then you go in and you have to go down.
Yeah.
And then only when you get out and you're like, wow, this is actually like a cool, feels like very underground, and that's the wow moment there.
Yeah. Like in Marquee, you've got like a little indoor
Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a slide.
Yeah.
They'll take me
Yeah.
right down to my table.
Yeah, and then you go to Avenue and you bowl. You're like, where would you do that?
I mean, we again, when we created those venues on paper before we actually built them, we spent a lot of time trying to figure out kind of, creating these multi-use places, right? Because they're not just for people to go at night and drink. We use them for MICE events. We use them for a lot of private events. So we wanted to give them sort of distinct personalities, but also give our guests something to do, right? Not everybody wants to dance, and not everybody wants to sit at a bar or sit at a table. So whether it's the bowling alley or the video games at Avenue or the slide or the Ferris wheel photo booth at Marquee, we've created these moments and really giving our guests a reason to explore the venues and have something else to do and something else to talk about and obviously something else to share on their social media when they leave.
That's important, right?
The thing about the younger generation right now, Noah, I feel, is they don't drink as much as we used to.
Yeah. I think so as well. I think so.
Do you agree? I mean, at least here in Singapore, that's what I've been observing. I mean, I'm sure, alcohol sales are still right up there.
Yeah.
But I realize that. Well, I'm kind of a binge drinker. I
But the
always have
bottle
been.
sales back in the day, I mean,
Yeah.
like the tables that used to be stuffed and like
Right.
overflowing with bottles, I don't see that as much as.
Right, only if I'm
as
there.
now. Yeah, well,
And
let's
then you
put
get
you
like
aside.
people joining me at my table. I'm like,
Free
who's
drinks."
that? Who invited you? Where do you come from?
I don't agree.
Okay.
I think people are drinking just like they always did. I do think that people are more conscious about what they're eating and what they're doing the next day to feel better, and there's more of an emphasis on balance. But I don't think that just because people are balancing themselves, especially younger people, by doing more healthy things, that they're drinking less. I think the same person who wants to have three drinks on a night, now is the same person that wanted that 10 years ago.
Yep.
Whatever their tolerance is, whatever their, threshold is, that hasn't changed. And as far as the bottles, the tables are still very much a thing to do.
Overflowing.
I think you're just seeing different. You don't see as many because rather than buying, say, 20 or 30 bottles of champagne, a lot of guests are buying, 5 bottles of tequila that are the same price as the 30 bottles
Yeah.
of champagne and
Right.
and even more drinks. You're just not seeing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are a little bit more subdued about the sparklers and the presentations. I would say if there's anything that's changed, that there's a bit more hesitancy for people to be so, overly celebratory with the shows and the presentations, although it's still part of, the service that people pay for.
Yeah.
But I don't think that young people are drinking any less.
Okay. Okay. Well, you would know.
Yeah, I do. I do think there's a correlation between sort of economic, like when the economy's good and people are happy and making money, people go out more in general. But that's not a nightlife versus being healthy thing. That's just when times are good, people have more disposable income because it's not cheap to go out and go to these places.
So you think the differences between the generations not quite as stark as most people think?
Yes.
It just shows our age, so we should stop saying it.
Yeah, we're really aging ourselves here, guys.
okay.
We're really aging
none of that.
ourselves.
Okay, let's talk about where you get some me time. You have 2 kids.
I have 2 kids.
You have 2 kids. How old are they?
10-year-old boy and a 7-year-old daughter.
Okay,
Oh,
so
lovely.
where do you go for some quiet? Because you get a lot of noise throughout your
So
work.
I am married to a well-known health and wellness. I'll call her a guru.
We're all familiar with her, by the way.
Yes.
She is my guiding light when it comes to balance in my life. And between Melissa and my children, I've learned how to, make time for the things that really matter, like being with my son at his football games and taking my daughter to her dance recitals. And more than anything, just being home for dinners, being home for events, being present. It's not just being there, but not having my phone on and being, getting down and playing with my kids. We just got a dog. That's our big family.
Okay.
We have a 5-month-old puppy, so that is like our big family bonding moment
Thing
right now.
Okay.
Okay.
One moment.
We'll
All
talk
right, we're
about
going to go
that,
traffic
yeah.
update and one last talk set.
Trust. Online at straitstimes.com.
Kiss 92 traffic.
All right, if you're heading into the Marina Bay Street Circuit on Fullerton Road towards Collier Quay after Fullerton Square, an accident has already been spotted. Avoid lane 2. Also on Lornie Highway towards Bradle, an accident before Upper Thompson Road. Avoid lane 3. On Bartley Viaduct towards Portsdown, an accident as well before Airport Road. Avoid lane 1. If you want to see those road closures because of the Formula 1, you can head to lta.gov.sg.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. We have been speaking to the co-CEO of Tao Group Hospitality, Mr. Noah Tepperberg. And once again, on behalf of Kiss 92 and The Big Show, congratulations on the reopening of LAVO. Yeah, it's really beautiful, and we encourage everyone to go down to LAVO to check it out for yourself, okay? But we're also, getting to know Noah, and we were just talking about your lovely wife, Melissa, and your two lovely kids. And you were just telling us as well, you just got a dog. What breed of dog did you get?
So we live in Manhattan, in New York City, where there's not as much space for large dogs. So we were. It was actually a gift to a friend of mine surprised us. We were going to get a rescue, and then a friend of ours surprised us with a mini golden doodle. So,
Golden Doodle!
So half poodle, half golden retriever. His name is Noble. He's brown. He's beautiful. And
is he tearing up your furniture?
Not quite.
No,
good.
We're in the process of training him not to, and this is my first trip away from him.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
When you get back.
Normally I'm asking the kids for FaceTime,
Right.
while I'm away, but
Now you want to
I'll
see
be
the
asking
dog.
to see the dog now.
How old is he?
So, 19 weeks.
19 weeks? Oh my God, just a pup.
He's a little baby, 5 pounds.
Oh wow! I've got a golden retriiever, but like
Okay.
full size. But
yeah.
you're gonna love
Her
the
golden
journey.
retriever used to be cute.
Oh, stop it! He's still adorable. He's still adorable. Okay, so Noah, just a little bit about your reopened LAVO. Congratulations once again. What is the vibe you're hoping guests will feel as soon as they walk in?
Hungry.
Besides that,
Thirsty. Yeah. No, I mean, listen, it is a mixture. LAVO is a concept that really brings in, a Mediterranean vibe, right? And the idea is that we want guests to feel like they've been transported to the coast of Italy, right? To the Amalfi, So we've done things like bringing in real olive trees and sage plants and things that really make you feel like you're outside or on the water, even when you're inside.
Yep.
I think, the fact is we are on the water. We are, towering above Marina Bay, and we want people to feel that they're in a coastal, we're at the back of the famous, Sky Park, and we want people to really also feel connected to Italy, right? The Italian sense, the spices, all the flavors, everything that we're doing there is Italian, And then we've added the Tao Group sizzle, the Tao Group, element of entertainment, like our party brunches, which, we're fully sold out this weekend and expect to be on every time we do a party brunch. But, we also like to create, when it's not 8 o'clock at night, just a great restaurant atmosphere where people come with families and, come for celebrations. It's a great place to celebrate a birthday or an anniversary or a deal you just closed. I think that's, same with Coma, it's these places are designed to be, celebratory dining and it's in that location. It's important to be, appealing to a wide breadth of people because the resort has such a dynamic and sort of mixed group of guests that come through from all over the world. So we also make a point to be very approachable with our pricing, with large portions. So people that may not be in Singapore or just passing through are visiting that and leaving with a really great feeling.
All right.
Wow.
And
Another
you've got
wow.
amazing staff as well.
yes.
Amazing
Great
staff.
team.
Okay,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
next Big
I
Show
was just gonna
team lunch
say,
is going to be at LAVO.
LAVO.
Soon.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Noah, for dropping by today. We really
My pleasure.
appreciate it.
Great to meet you guys.
Thank you.
Thank
We've been
you.
speaking to Noah Tepperberg, co-CEO of Tao Group Hospitality.
This is brand new.